Welcome to the Deep Dive. You're here because, well, you want to get smart fast.
And we do the sifting for you.
Exactly. Today, we're looking at something kind of nostalgic, pretty unexpected, actually. The return of Duck Dodgers to Cartoon Network.
After, what, 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
Hmm.
We've got one main source for this deep dive. It's an article from comicbook.com dated April 14th, 2025.
Okay.
And our mission today is basically to unpack this, like why now? Why Duck Dodgers?
Yeah.
And what's the catch? Because there often seems to be one.
Right, there usually is. It's about getting that quick, solid understanding of why this return is maybe more interesting than just, an old show popping up again.
Okay, let's dive in. The big news first. According to the article, Duck Dodgers is hitting Cartoon Network again, May 4th.
May the 4th. Nice timing for a space show.
Yeah. May 4th, 2025 at 12 p.m. Eastern. And think about that, 2005. That's the last time it was properly on Cartoon Network.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long gap. A whole generation of viewers might not even know it.
Seriously. And this tidbit, it was apparently spotted first on X by @ToonHive.
Huh. So not some big official announcement right off the bat, just eagle-eyed fans.
Seems like it. Shows how news travels these days, right?
Definitely. And that gap, that 20-year gap, that really makes it stand out.
It's nostalgia fuel for sure, but also maybe a chance for new eyes.
Could be. But now let's talk about that catch the article sort of hints at.
Oh, okay, here we go.
It doesn't sound like it's back for good on the regular schedule.
Right. Not like it's season 4 suddenly appearing.
Exactly. The feeling is it's more of maybe a special occasion return, probably for a limited time.
Okay, so more of an event.
Yeah. So the main takeaway for anyone listening is, if you're interested, mark May 4th down because, it might be a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing.
That limited time angle is interesting, though. Is it like testing the waters?
Maybe. Or just a fun May the 4th stunt.
Could be either. Or both.
Oh, wow.
It creates a bit of buzz, doesn't it? Makes you wonder if there's a bigger strategy at play with library content. Definitely something to think about. Now, for anyone who may be scratching their head thinking, Duck Dodgers. Vaguely remember, let's quickly cover why this show matters.
Yeah, what was it?
The comicbook.com piece calls it a classic animated series. Goes even further, actually. Calls it one of the best cartoons ever launched by Warner Bros. Animation.
That's high praise. Warner Bros. Animation, that's a serious pedigree.
It is. And it comes from classic roots, too. It wasn't just pulled out of thin air. It spun out of that old Looney Tunes short, remember? Duck Dodgers of the 24th and a half century.
Oh, right. With Daffy and Marvin the Martian.
Yep.
Classic.
That's the one. But the series, it took that idea and, as the article puts it, built it into a whole new kind of universe.
Yeah, expanding on a short is always tricky, but they must have done something right.
Totally. So you've got Daffy Duck is Duck Dodgers. He's this well-meaning but kind of incompetent space patrol hero, always battling Martians.
Always trying to battle Martians, maybe.
Fair point. The article does say his success rate was, let's say, variable. But the key thing was the adventures were always hilarious.
And that tracks with Daffy, right? The comedy was probably baked in from the start.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just slapstick. The article mentions it was pretty self-referential. Lots of fun shout-outs to other Warner stuff.
Oh, like meta humor.
Yeah, like nods to DC Comics, even Samurai Jack, apparently.
Okay, that's cool. That kind of stuff always rewards the fans who are paying attention. Gives it another layer.
Right. And it wasn't a flash in the pan either. It ran for 3 seasons.
3 seasons is solid for animation.
And here's maybe the most important point for this comeback. The article stresses it's not really easy to find on streaming right now.
So it's kind of been vaulted.
Seems like it. Which makes this TV airing, well, way more significant, doesn't it? For a lot of people, this might be the only convenient way to watch it.
That lack of streaming availability definitely changes the game. It makes linear TV suddenly relevant again for this specific show. It's not just nostalgia, it's access.
Good point. And the article connects this to a broader trend, suggesting this return is, quote, a pretty big indication of the type of material that the network has been thriving in with the last few years of initiatives.
Interesting. So Cartoon Network might be finding success digging into its own archives.
That's what it sounds like. Maybe they've seen that bringing back these older beloved shows actually works, gets people tuning in.
It makes sense. There's a built-in audience, and maybe it pulls in new viewers curious about the classics. A strategy, perhaps.
Which kind of leads us into the whole context of Cartoon Network itself. Because, let's be honest, there have been some major shakeups, as the article says, at CN and Warner Bros. animation lately.
Oh, for sure. The whole Warner Bros. Discovery merger that sent ripples everywhere. Lots of changes.
Big time. And some of those changes haven't always felt great for fans. The article mentions the original CN website shutting down, for example.
Right, and shows getting pulled from Max. That caused a lot of upset.
Definitely. People felt like things were disappearing. But the article also points out a countertrend. Things coming back to the broadcast side.
Yeah, like Adult Swim doing that checkered past block, right? Bringing back older Cartoon Network stuff.
Exactly. Leaning right into that nostalgia. And it seems like Cartoon Network's main channel is doing more of that too, not just Adult Swim.
So maybe amidst all the streaming chaos and removals, there's also this reinvestment in the actual TV schedule.
The article seems to think so. It suggests the broadcast schedule has been shifting around for the better in the last year or so.
For the better, meaning more of these kinds of classic returns.
Possibly. So the channel today, it definitely looks different than it did back in 2005 when Duck Dodgers was airing. But maybe these recent shifts are actually good news if you like the older stuff.
It implies a strategy, maybe, of balancing the new with the nostalgic, recognizing the value in that library they've built over decades. It caters to the longtime fans while still, trying to bring in new ones.
Yeah. Makes sense. So let's wrap this up. The key takeaway. Duck Dodgers. Classic cartoon. Off the air for 20 years, it's coming back to Cartoon Network.
But probably just for a limited time.
Right. May 4th. Mark it down. It's a cool nostalgic moment, but it's also happening while Cartoon Network is kind of finding its footing again.
Yeah.
And maybe realizing these old gems have real value.
So now you've got the essential intel. You know what's happening, why it's kind of a big deal, and crucially, that it might be fleeting.
You're set. You could decide if you want to blast off with Dodgers on May 4th.
A quick trip down memory lane, or maybe a first voyage for some.
Exactly. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. With everything changing so fast in media, what other classic cartoons might suddenly reappear like this? What drives these decisions? Is it just nostalgia? Is it about fighting the streaming wars with familiar IP?
Or maybe something else entirely pushing networks to pull these shows out of the archives.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about what else might be waiting for its comeback moment. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.